Okay, so there has been a lot of chatter about the capital gains tax. What does that mean for us investors? Well, I thought I'd just put through a couple of pointers. The difference between commercial and residential, how that's going to affect the commercial sector, how it's going to affect the residential sector, focusing obviously more on the commercial sector. So for smart commercial property investors, what does 2026 federal budget look like? Well, it's created this great divide in the market while residential property investors are grappling with the kneecapping, negative gearing, and the minimum 30% capital gains tax floor. The commercial sector has effectively become a tax protection haven. How does that work? Let's look at why and how you can benefit from this. So it's looking even better in the commercial sector. If you're looking to deploy capital, here are a couple of strategies or opportunities that will arise from this budget. Let's just bang straight into it. The industrial safe haven pivot. Since negative gearing changes apply only to residential property, commercial assets like warehouses and industrial sheds are now significantly more attractive than houses. What is this going to do? The industrial sector is going to explode. Watch this space. But don't be fooled. It's not only industrial. Okay, we're going to see a lot of medical and office and a lot of retail. And I'll tell you why, and we'll go through this. So the opportunity. Expected a high flight to quality as residential investors are going to be flocking to the commercial sector. Smart investors should target on small to medium-sized industrial assets, so between 1.5 to 5 million in high growth corridors, a little bit like the Northern Corridor in Brisbane or the Sunshine Coast, heading up to the Sunshine Coast. And these assets will still allow a full interest deductibility against your other income. So a lever that residential investors have now lost in their existing properties. Bit of a shame, absolute shame. But anyway, let's not go there. So the active asset acquisition would be your strategy number 2. The budget confirms that for small businesses, CGT concessions remain unchanged. So they're trying to maintain that in small businesses. And this is probably the biggest loophole. So for smart investors, put your thinking caps on. The opportunity is to seek out commercial properties that can be classified as active assets. In other words, you run your own business out of them or lease them to a related entity. By doing this, you can bypass that 30% minimum tax floor and potentially access 15 years of exemption of 0 CGT, which makes the owner-occupied commercial buildings the ultimate tax shield in 2026. Think about it. That's great. Put a business in it. Rent it to yourself. Be smart about it. Many ways to do that. If you want more information, reach out. The third point would be to supply side build to rent, which is another little strategy. So the government has explicitly carved out build to rent developments for many of the harshest tax hikes to encourage new supply. And this is going to be right across the board as well, primarily in probably small sheds industrial. The opportunity? Institutional grade commercial investors can pivot into build to rent. The budget includes accelerated 4% capital works deductions. In a greater scheme of things, that actually equates to quite a lot. The reduction can reduce 15% withholding tax for foreign investors in build to rent. So they're trying to stimulate that sector. For local investors, the signals a government-backed green light for heavy density, purpose-built rental hubs near major infrastructure. And it just goes back to what I've been saying in previous podcast, follow the money. Where the government money goes, that's where you want to flow. Okay. Where government spending is where they are going to be plugging in residential, and that's going to have a knock-on effect. So infrastructure adjacent, they call it last mile logistics. So the budget includes 2 billion local infrastructure funds designated to facilitate 65,000 new homes. So 65,000 new homes is probably would facilitate just one sector, like the Northern Corridor in Brisbane, which isn't huge, but in the greater scheme of things, it's good, it's big, and that's where you wanting to be putting your money. The opportunity. This flows and it follows the new build map. So where government is funding last mile infrastructure for these new residential hubs, that is where there's going to be a massive need for supporting commercial services. So look at the residential builds. What is going in there? What are the infrastructure? What is the commercial aspect of those areas? What commercial developments are being built close to those areas that can facilitate the residential needs? So look at neighborhood shopping centers or logistics depots located near these high density new build residential zones. You're effectively letting the government's residential infrastructure spend, subsidize the value of your commercial land, because you know that those hubs are going to be growing exponentially. So this would be point number 5, grandfathering. Grandfathering existing trusts. The window until 2027. All right, so this gives you, call it 13 months, because we're recording this in May 26. This is going to give you 13 months to go hard. The new 30% minimum tax on discretionary trusts doesn't kick off until July 2027. So the properties held before the budget announcement are grandfathered under the old negative gearing rules. So you'd still benefit from that. The opportunity, there's a narrow window just until July 30th, 2027 to restructure or acquire commercial assets under the current rules. A smart investor might look to settle on a good commercial asset now to lock in that 50%. Get the discount with the current trust treatment before the inflation indexing and maximum tax floor. This becomes the new, more expensive reality. So there, guys, there are 5 opportunities that I've just laid out. If you are hurting by this CGT, federal government budget, then here are 5 opportunities that you can actually benefit from by purchasing commercial properties right now. So this is the smart money move, and the budget has essentially made passive residential a tax liability and an active commercial a tax strategy. So it's got to be active commercial. You've got to make it an active commercial, as I explained in the podcast. The opportunity lies in moving away from established residential into assets that support supply or business being active assets. So where can you learn more? Reach out to us. Go to the website, revolvecommercial.com.au. We've got loads of information there. Click on the Wealth Grow Plan, portfolio picks, due diligence book, case studies, blogs, investor club if you want to do it yourself. There's an online education. You can download the due diligence book. Check out what we're putting out in the investors club or the elite members. We're going to be packing in a lot more value and information onto that, and I'll keep you posted. We'll be coming back to you on that very soon. There's online education. There's mentoring programs. We've got the Ask Mish for mentoring programs. If you've got any questions, reach out. Put your questions in the tab and we will get back to you. We'll jump on those questions and get back to you as soon as possible. So again, thank you for listening, and I hope this has helped you. I hope this has just given you some food for thought, and I look forward to chatting to you soon.